Standup Comedy, your host and MC, presents Comedy Appetizers, a podcast where you will find short comedy sets, stories, and funny bits from the famous and not so famous. Here is your host and MC, Scott Edwards.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another special bonus episode of Stand-Up Comedy, host and MC. And man, this is so exciting. Here in the studio with me, ladies and gentlemen, the very funny and my best friend in comedy, Bob Worley.
Thanks, Scott. I'm very funny and I'm your best friend.
Well, it's so great to actually have you in the studio. I see you still have that splint on your finger. How's it doing?
Oh, thanks, Scott. You know what? The finger's doing well. They reattached it, and I think I should be back to normal pretty soon. You know, I learned a valuable lesson that day. Leave the fireworks to the professionals. That's my motto. Leave them to the professionals. But you know what? I'm not adverse to playing with sparklers. I love sparklers. Hey, this is a very nice studio, by the way. What do you call this? Is this a shed or garage?
Well, I call it my studio.
Okay, sure. It's your place. Call it whatever you want. So listen, where are the cameras? Where do I look?
Oh, no, Bob, that's your mic.
What? No. Oh, I see. Very clever, Scott. Very clever. Nice touch.
Well, I see you finally got yourself a calendar.
Yep. And if you buy it in June, you get it half off.
Well, it's a very nice cat calendar. Very cute.
Thanks, Scott. Very cute and vicious. You know, have you ever thrown a cat at someone?
No.
Well, don't, unless you want to get sued, because cats are dangerous animals and considered lethal weapons. Anyways, I see by my calendar here, Scott, my new cat calendar, that this Sunday is July 4th.
Well, actually, the 4th of July falls on this coming Monday, Bob.
Not according to my new 2021 cat calendar, Scott.
Yeah, but Bob, it's 2022.
What? Oh, no. Since when?
About January.
Oh, no. Now I'm going to have to go through this whole calendar and change all the numbers on this year's. God.
Well, that's one way, but you could just go out and buy a 2022 calendar.
I guess I could do that. But look, you have to admit, look at these cats. Aren't they cute?
Oh, yeah, but I'm sure you could find a 2022 cat calendar.
Well, we'll see. Listen, Scott, the reason I brought the calendar is because, like I said, I noticed that this Sunday is 4th of July.
Yeah, you mean Monday.
That's what I said, Scott. I know that's the day that we claimed our independence from King George of England.
Well, that's right.
Well, Scott, I'm here to set the record straight about the 4th of July. Is it really a celebration or is it something that we made up? Because I want to tell you right now, the real Independence Day happened in Boston.
Well, then why do we call this Independence Day?
I don't know, Scott. I don't know. I'm not a history teacher, but that was just a byproduct of that little thing called the Boston Tea Party.
Okay, I'm trying to recollect my history. Didn't that happen in 1773? I think it was December 16th, if I'm not mistaken. But America declared independence in 1776, like 3 years later.
Well, Scott, again, I am not a history teacher. But you know, the Boston Tea Party, which, by the way, was not a real party because they didn't serve cakes, nothing. They dressed up for nothing. Anyways, but the Americans, they were there. You know the reason why they were there dumping that tea in the bay? I'll tell you, Scott. It's because we don't like tea. We don't want to drink that crappy English tea. We're coffee drinkers, Scott. This is America, and we drink coffee.
What?
That's right. Yeah, everybody knows that, Scott. We are a country of coffee drinkers. Well, when you go out for breakfast, when they come up to ask you if you want anything, what do? They bring a coffee pot and go, would you like some coffee? They don't go, would you like some tea, governor? Would you like some warm, bloody tea with a big bag hanging in it? Oh, some nice tea, eh, governor? No, we get coffee.
Well, I like tea.
Well, yeah, I know you like tea, but it's iced tea. That's a different story, Scott. It's not like that lukewarm, baggy coffee. I get sick just thinking about it.
Well, I had no idea you were so adverse to a simple beverage.
Scott, it is un-American. People from the U.S. of A. have nothing but disdain for jolly old England's beverage of choice. You can just ask anybody. American, that is. So that's when the Boston Tea Party, when it happened, the Americans dumped that tea in the ocean and set everything else in motion. That's where it all began. That's where our independence really started. You're never going to hear this in a history class, Scott. They won't tell you that. But I'm here to set the record straight. Down with the British and their freaking tea. We don't like warm beer either. Just put that in there. We like our beers ice cold.
Well, I agree with that. I like both my beer and my tea ice cold.
That's what I'm talking about, Scott. It's also the first time that the US of A came up with a plan to deflect blame on the other people. You know, the outsiders. People that don't belong in America. That's why we dressed up like the Indians, or as we call them today, Native Americans. When we dumped that tea in the Boston Bay and dressed like Indians, it fooled everybody. Scott, that's known as American ingenuity.
Wow. I'm just lost for words, Bob.
I can't blame you, Scott. I feel the same way. When I learned about this, I tell you, I didn't know what to think. You know, and we almost got away with blaming it on the Indians, except for one guy. One idiot showed up dressed like a Indian from India. Turban, the works. What a bonehead. But you know, they weren't really explicit about the disguises. And you know that man's name? His name was Robert Morley. But he later on turned that M into a W, and he was known as Robert Worley. And Scott, that man was my grandfather.
Grandfather? Really? Bob, I find that hard to believe.
I know, it's crazy, right? That guy, he's got a lot of stories. Heck, you should have seen him when he was at the Civil War. Appomattox, he was there when they signed the peace treaty. That guy is a crazy guy.
Well, crazy's definitely a word for it.
Hey, how about we light these sparklers and celebrate America's birthday?
Well, let's do it outside, Bob.
Okay, it's your studio. We can do whatever we want. Anyways, happy birthday, America.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, Bob has shared some interesting history, but it's all about celebrating the independence of America. So from all of us here at Stand-Up Comedy Host and MC, have a safe and sane July 4th holiday. Thanks for listening, and next week we'll have another terrific show.
God bless America.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Comedy Appetizers. Be sure to share with family and friends, and we will see you this Sunday for our regular podcast, Your Host and MC, and again next Friday for another episode of Comedy Appetizers. Bye.